Facebook, Google Plus, Q-Zone's a Chinese must. Sina, Weibo, Formspring, Habo is a teen thing. LinkedIn's a business gauge, Ren's an Asian rage. Instagram for photo shares, Bebo's good for questionnaires.
Hello everyone, thank you again for yet another tuning into the 7th podcast of the Techjaja Bits and Bytes show. I'm your host Robert Sebunya, and in studio I'm joined by two technologically charged Ugandans. You can call them social media parliamentarians. And today we're going to be talking about social media management, not as a hobby but as a job.
Timbogomo Zafao, CEO Williams Limited, also co-founder and doubling as their digital manager.
My name is Geoffrey Ekongot, also known as Jeff. I am the CEO of Oddman Limited. Oddman is a digital agency. All
right, let's get into the business of the day. What is social media management? Can anyone out there do social media management? Anyone who can create a Facebook page? I think creating a page is very easy, and then posting stuff you copy from somewhere else. Is that social media management?
Nope, that actually isn't social media management, I would love to say. You call social media management an art, and it encompasses a collection of disciplines that people have to be conversant with to best meet marketing, because social media management has a certain direction. We are looking at marketing, we are looking at public relations, we are looking at customer engagement, and we are looking at how we use this information to better brands and their businesses. So it also tallies with social business. So if you can get a guy from campus and pay them some money to manage your Facebook page, they can put the post this and that, but that doesn't translate into social business. So I think it's an art where you have to combine all these disciplines and deliver value to a business.
Well, so is that art learned with time? How did you master that art? I guess you just finished university about 2 years or 1 year back.
Of course, and actually you don't study social media when you're doing IT at university.
I thought you guys do.
They should introduce such course units that match up the times. But I think it's about enthusiasm. Once you get onto the social media job, it's not about sitting on the computer and posting things, inviting people to like your page. It's about learning. For example, you don't have a business background, but then I've done a lot of reading in marketing, public relations, and how companies can foster return on investment through social media. So if you're sitting with someone doing business, you're not going to tell them about your post, just you have to show them how it all brings money into their company.
Oh God, I see we're talking about money. So Jeff, do you think HR should outsource the social media management bit of their brands to companies like Oddman, or you think they should train someone within the organization who has been maybe their PR or someone who is in the Department of Public Relations to be managing the social media page?
I think HR departments need to outsource. Maybe just adding on to what my colleague was saying, social media is a multidisciplinary sort of thing, and training one person is not really possible in a very short time. You'd have to train them on being creative. For most people, being creative is inborn and then just developed. So if you find someone, if an organization doesn't have a creative person, that becomes very difficult. So when you outsource to companies, then you can tap into multiple skills that usually digital agencies or social media companies tend to have. So I think it's preferred to outsource.
Talking about multidisciplinary roles, do we have a lot of which opportunities are there for social media as a job? Like which opportunities are there for someone out there to tailor themselves for a job at Oddman or anywhere online?
One, people who are good at writing. Writing is a very big part of social media because most of the content is in text. Then the other part is people who are creative. A big part of social media is data-driven creativity. So if you combine a little bit of numbers, understanding the numbers that drive audiences, and writing and presenting content visually in an interesting way, then you can have a job at social media. So if you are in the creative world, you love writing, and you love engaging people, that's a very good start for you, and you could have a career in social media management.
So in short, people who have a mass communication background and a little bit of enthusiasm on IT things would be much more tailored for the job.
Well, that's the most obvious thing to say, but there are a lot of people who are good at writing and they're not necessarily experts at mass media communication. Yeah. Once they understand the essentials of engaging audiences, they can easily pick up on the skills that are required to to manage social media.
So to complement what he has said, I think someone who is willing to jump in, learn, study, research, share experiences with people, get yourself acquainted with social media management as you progress. So it's about someone who wants it, because we have a lot of people haven't done any of these courses in marketing, haven't done in mass comm, if you mentioned, though, IT, but because they are interested in social media, they have an eye for it. Someone will sit on Twitter and explore Twitter to the fullest. And we have such people. We have people who do social media on events. Some guys who are enthusiastic about events, and when they man an event, it's going to be viral on Facebook, Twitter, or any other platform. So it's about the enthusiasm and willingness to learn.
Okay. So I think we're talking about social media as a marketing tool, I guess, right?
That's right.
So who is the ideal, which qualities should someone, managing a page have? Like, if you are hiring someone for your organization, if you imagine yourself as a brand, Will Ups Media, which kind of person would you be looking out for to push your brand out there?
One, creative in all aspects. Someone who will sit down and think of something spontaneously. You don't have to drag your feet on the job. You can try a post, for example, in the morning and it gets 0 engagement and it's a disaster. So someone must be fast thinking. They must analyze, think, create, invent things that excite audiences. People who are willing to try out this strategy. If it fails, drop it. Pick the next strategy. So you have to be overly creative.
So where do you guys learn this stuff from? Do you have like a website you go to? Do you have books that you read? You could give it out for someone out there who is,
There are resources. The best online resource I would recommend is HubSpot. And there are many other resources. You go, subscribe, you receive newsletters, they give you tips. So they always send you content on a weekly basis or monthly basis. So it's about keeping up. These platforms provide a lot of content because they invest in content, and there are certain books. For example, for me, I have a book, Social Media Marketing by Dave Evans. Okay. It details the entire business aspect of social media management and social business, as opposed to the sitting on Facebook and doing the posting.
I don't know, for some reason in Uganda, when we talk about social media, people always, zero down to Facebook and a little bit of Twitter. Why do you think we don't take on other social networking websites as tools for business? Like, for example, your own website could be a social media tool.
The reason why most people will go for the obvious ones like Facebook and Twitter is that they are the most popular. It's about numbers. Most people who are looking for to get the biggest numbers go to where the biggest platforms, and Facebook and Twitter have proved that. The other platforms, Google Plus, Pinterest, they don't have the numbers that Facebook and Twitter.
You mean
has.
Numbers in Uganda?
In Uganda, yes, and interest in Uganda. The other platforms that have numbers in Uganda but are not pushed equally are, for example, YouTube. Because there's a bit of a technical challenge, one on creating video content, and then also on the users. The users don't have as much fast internet, but so the clients are not inclined to demand for or to push for content in video.
Well, I think video is underutilized in Uganda. And then, if you look at your iPhone, your Samsung Galaxy, or whatever phone you have, Nokia Lumia, all these phones can capture a high-quality video that, an artist can have on their, or with their crew, and, they capture that and have it online and use Facebook as video. Because Facebook video is the fastest-growing Facebook feature at the moment. It's actually, I predict in the next 2 years, YouTube for videos that are reaching out to audiences, mass audiences, will be much bigger than, Facebook video will be much bigger than YouTube.
I agree.
And I feel people have underutilized that feature in Uganda. It's just a few times when it has been used, they made video and then stuff like that.
One of the things that has driven the proliferation of video content, most especially in the West, has been the ability to monetize your video content. So professional video content creators got into the space and scaled it by big tapping into the monetization component. And Facebook already is growing very fast, but they haven't yet monetized their side of video, and that could maybe lower the motivation for people to create content. But I'm sure they are going to get into that as well. That's very obvious.
Yeah, I think they're just looking for the numbers and stuff. But still, even on we don't have professional video content creators in Uganda. Like I did a research a while back, and the few that we have, have a lineage towards Kenya. Like if you look at Ann Kansime, her content is much I think her biggest audience could be even 40-60%. Is much bigger in Kenya than Uganda and the rest of Africa, actually.
The few I have observed lately are not really creators; they're more of aggregators. We have a growing number of content aggregators locally. Popular ones like DJ Dean, Afrobarometer. They mostly aggregate music videos, and lately they're also tapping into regular video clips that they think have viral potential, and they are tapping into that, and they figured out how to monetize those videos. That's why they're doing that. So I think the more people get to understand how they can make money from their videos, the more people will take that more seriously and start getting
No,
into
this
it.
wasn't really tailored for the show. Do you have that number one or two qualities that make a video go viral in Uganda? Not besides the made video. What makes a video go viral in Uganda? I'm not talking about City Alosi here. Yeah.
Well, from my experience with content in general, the most popular content is mostly either funny or content to do with sex. And those videos tend to have huge numbers. And because the sex videos tend to be fewer and they come occasionally and people don't have control on their creation, you don't expect, you can't predict what will happen in that space. But with funny videos, people can create those. I've been seeing a lot of people who are really expressing themselves in hilarious ways these days, and those videos tend to be, they are getting viral. And the only challenge is that they are getting viral on a social media space that is not tracked, such as WhatsApp, which is considered a dark traffic zone. Yeah. So there's no way of knowing how the impact of those videos, but you can tell.
We can feel the impact, but we don't feel the statistical.
We can't measure their impact, but you can tell that everybody has seen it and they're trying to send it back to you, and this is definitely viral content. And some that content that is getting viral on in dark traffic platforms is spilling its way onto Facebook and YouTube right after it's maxed its dark traffic.
Well, I actually think, before I get to Mr. Muzaffar over there, I actually think that content does not even get to YouTube or Facebook, because as soon as a video gets to Facebook, it's reported because it's explicit. Like the sex steps which really go viral, I mean, you can't have them online. As soon as you put it up there, someone's going to report it, and it will be put down ASAP. So I think it's another untapped world out there.
I agree.
Muzaffar, what was your feedback here?
A video, if you are to look at it in a business sense, videos that go viral on channels where people monetize their channels. We have channels, for example, Ann Kansime, her channel is good. So she's into entertainment, that is comedy. Now that is their trade. Content, you have to produce funny content. People appreciate the funny content. Then it's precise and it has a particular message. So they are keen on their audience. Now when it comes to companies, let's say the corporate firms, then the question is, which videos do they need? Are you just going to do a video that tells people you come buy airtime, buy data, buy this? So that is head-on advertising. So you might not want to create such videos for YouTube because people have bias towards them. We've seen the ads on TV, we've heard the things on radio. So the video, the way you tailor your content to how it contributes to the firm in terms of marketing and public relations. So any public relations executive will be like, this sex step, okay, someone who's from our company, you find they are dealing with damage control as opposed to promoting the brand. So that's where video comes in. So you need someone to create. As for example, in your CSR engagements, as your people are in the field helping communities, what are some of those snippets of content, some exciting moments that the entire world might relate with and actually find the personal factor within your business? So you must find those clips that are exciting, foster engagement, tap into people's sentiments, but in the end, add something organization.
And maybe just to chip in a little more, I think most of the Ugandan videos that have gone viral have accidentally bumped into this virality. And they did not fully comprehend initially what it was all about, because most of the content that has gone viral, it was initially created for television and somehow found its way online. Yes. But now that, one, they're beginning to understand monetization, they're beginning to understand the impact that is created by videos going viral. There's content that is being deliberately designed to be viral from this creation stage. And it's something that is beginning to unfold and will take a big part of the future of viral content, deliberately created content with the desire to go viral.
Yeah, I think one of the factors that I actually look out, think that could make a video go viral, I think the personalities involved. If you have, probably I've seen, I don't know, she's a celebrity in my world, Ella, the former Big Brother contestant. I think I've seen her in a club advert, and you know, club keeps on pushing it on to have fans and stuff like that. So I think if you have a lot of personalities that have authority on social media in your advertisements, it would also make some of your video content go viral. Because I mean, look at Bebe Cool. If he shared one of his clips where he's in an advert with Fufa, whatever it is, it can really go to a bigger, wider audience than a little known Robert somewhere.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily agree. However, I would say no one has the secret formula to the idea of getting videos to go viral.
That is true.
It's the same principle around music videos or music in general. No one has the secret formula for hit songs. Only in the music industry they can manipulate them to look like hits, but the organic hits or the same as organic viral videos, no one that has a secret formula. Most people do their best, and the best can only be tested when it's out there in the wild. So all the videos that I've seen, most people didn't even expect them to go viral. They were just doing another great video they were hoping to put out there, and then boom, it was viral.
Okay, I see where. Well, let's get back to our topic of the day, social media management. Muzaffaru, how are you guys paid? Are you paid per post, per share, per like? I mean, if someone wants to hire the services of a social media admin, I think it's a little bit hard to quantify the value for the service you're offering someone. Like a while back, someone, I think it was yesterday, a friend wanted to hire me to be a social media admin for his page, and I told him, I mean, like I couldn't value, I couldn't give him my, how much he should pay me, because I found it very hard to really figure out the price for him, because first of all, my rate is really a little high for that service. My rate is $18 an hour, and I thought I can't offer that $18 an hour for I don't know how many words of a post. So how do you guys do that?
We do it as a firm, and we handle each social media management client as a project.
Okay.
And for the project, we outline a number of deliverables.
Sure.
So as we are doing, for example, a contract, the minimum is 6 months.
Really?
Yes, social media, someone will hire you for 1 month and you won't deliver anything.
That's a huge gestation period, okay?
They've not stepped on social media for any single day, and they want to get 1 million likes, which is impossible. They want to get 10,000 likes in one day. Even if you sponsor 1 million posts, when your business hasn't gained loyalty and the traction it needs, even online, you cannot have those likes even if you sponsor the post. People are going to see the post sponsored, but they'll be like, what is this? So to gain traction, we offer a period for your contract, and in that we enlist variables. And we also charge, so we charge for the entire contract where we enlist the services we do. That includes social media strategies, design, social media policy design. Companies must have social media policies. So we break it down to different deliverables. If I'm going to do a social media strategy, I charge for a social media strategy. If I'm going to do a social media content strategy also, I charge for it. If I'm going to design your in-house social media policies, I'm going to charge you for that. Then in the daily management, we also charge for daily management. And we outline, for example, for Facebook, this number of posts, for Twitter, this number of posts, based on how those sites perform in general and what they desire for the company and what we aim to deliver to the company.
Wow.
So we break the service down into various deliverables and weigh them accordingly.
Oh, it's a huge industry. I didn't know it had all those things, strategy, policing, and all that stuff.
To top up with what my colleague is saying, ours, maybe to simplify it, it's more complicated, but to simplify it, it is in two parts. One, we bill for setup. We think that every client needs to be set up. And for us, setting up a client involves one, working with the client to agree on goals and which goals will inform the strategy, and then setting up an editorial calendar and the creative that supports the general presence of the client on social media. We think that's billable and on its own, and then thereafter we charge a retainer on a monthly basis, depending on the contract we agree on with the client. We tend to break it down into those two steps. We think that if the first one is a must, you must pay for setup. Then thereafter, even if you don't want to keep us after the retainer, you can still have someone work with the setup that we have created. As you can notice, brands like Airtel, the big brands on social media locally, they have a structured presence from all the way from branded posts to the style of posting to the persona to all these things that there was some great science and thinking that went into preparing that sort of presence before the regular posting kicked off. Some preparation process goes into that.
Wow. I see. It's a lot of hard work. I hope our listeners don't have to go to Macquarie to do this short course unit. You guys have put it out all there for them.
And not really. Actually, for us at Oldman, we tend to initially it's a whole team. Then involved in creating strategy, editorial calendar. Then once we are done past that stage, then depending on the size of the client, we will assign the day-to-day people that will handle the posting. If it's a small client, we will probably assign one person to handle the day-to-day posts. If
that's the less creative guy on the team?
Well, the creative will be already in place and it's done at setup. For example, templates are prepared. Templates that cover all aspects of the editorial calendar, which means we will have scoped out all the types of content, and we will have created some kind of social media brand manual that is going to inform the creative, and then it's done and it's handed over to the day-to-day management people that pick up from there. So they may not necessarily be creative, because somebody else will handle that and pass it on. It's same thing like what traditional agencies do with traditional clients. They will have basic layouts for, say, if an ad is going to be in a newspaper, what's the basic format that we take on? If an ad is going to be on a billboard, there's a standard format that is accepted, and then the rest that changes is just the details. Photo is different, message is different, but the structure is usually essentially the same.
Oh, all right, let me kick in Muzaffar a little bit here. How do you optimize for Facebook search? Search is really a very great utility for anyone who uses a web browser.
Facebook search is supposed to be part of the entire search engine optimization strategy, right from your website, which must be social media rich, and then we start with the setup of your page. If you're setting up a Facebook page, first thing, the Facebook page name. Does it tally with your business? Is it a good name? Is it catchy? Is it appealing? Or is it too long?
Yeah. A lot of people fail to figure this difference, that the username on Facebook, which is that thing up on your URL, and then the page name. So which one are we talking about here? Are you talking about both?
We shall get to the URL. That one, when you're setting up a page, there's a section where you set up a particular URL to ease the work of your clients. If I go to a search engine and I want to enter your URL straight away, for example, that is facebook.com/willabs.fcbk. So people must find something precise they can easily remember. They can do a direct search when they are not even necessarily on Facebook, signed in. So you must also set up that. So I think it's about setting up the page, follow through. Some people just come, skip. They don't choose the a category. Your page must have a category. Which industry are you in? Are you in technology? Are you in this or that? So the entire setup process, all those settings must be utilized.
When it comes to likes, we tend to understand more the competition. And if we find that through the competition we have maybe a superior competitor, we'll try and tap into their audiences and find out what makes them strong. How can we tap into their strength? So we'll direct ads at their audience, because that's our audience as well, and we want to steal their audience. So we'll drill down our ad settings into tapping into our competitors' audience.
That dives me to the next question. Yeah. Since we've gotten into likes thuggery, that's what I would call it. Some people need to be arrested for that. So how do you keep track of your competitors, Mr. Muzaffaru? And what's your definition of a competitor? Is it a competing product? Is it a fight for likes, comments, and shares, like he tried to put it?
I don't think it's a fight
on
for
a trending
likes.
Topic.
It's not a fight for likes and just a trending topic. For example, he hinted on audience segmentation, age group, class. Is it the top colonial class? Are we targeting the Bududa class? So audience segmentation. Then even with competitors, not everyone on Facebook can be your competitor. For example, you want...
When it comes to trending content, I think close to a lot of people are your competitors, like that Western Gates thing.
The Western Gates thing.
Yeah, anyone out there who has close to the same likes as your competitor, I guess. Even if it's if you're managing maybe a radio station page and the other person is a brewery, and they have that story on them, I think they're your competitor because they're going to put that story in the same news feed for someone out there.
Sure. Brewery. It all comes to the strategy, as he told you, the design of the entire operation framework. So even before you jump onto some trending topic, you have a thought in mind. What are we in the end achieving? So if you're fighting for likes and you want visibility, then jumping on a trending topic is good. People are going to see your page, follow through, you have the likes. Okay. But if you're trying to put out a marketing message, you find that something is not that compelling to your audiences. So it's about the thought in mind. What are you jumping at? Are we jumping in for likes, viewership, and all those things? So now for competitors, it's more about monitoring your performance and then dealing with people that perhaps have the direct business competition with you. If I'm a startup doing social media management, even if I want to jump so much, I wouldn't classify MTN Uganda as my competitor. In terms of business.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I would want them to notice me, but then they are not my competitors. Okay. My fellow startups would be my competitors and people who are performing well in the industry that I'm in. So I might eye them. So for example, for Facebook, we have what we call, you can watch pages. Yeah. You can select a certain number of pages that you watch. Yeah, true. Know how they are performing, which posts are performing well, and you always get notifications. Such a post is performing well. So they help you monitor your competitors through watching them. But you must be keen on what you want. Why are you watching them? Which information are you aiming to tap from monitoring them? And what in the end does it help your business? So you have to, for example, the voice share. People talk. People share, post about things. So within your industry, if you're doing social media management, who is winning the voice share? Who is getting the most mentions?
Okay, so let's get into the next question before we run out of time. Over time, you've been posting content. Now, before we talked about video content going viral, but I'm sure over time you've been sharing content, on these pages or brands that whose pages you run. Which content really goes viral? I mean, is it memes? Is it surveys? Is it trending topics? What's the, it's not a magic bullet, but there's always that type of content that really goes viral with your audiences.
Well, from what you said, you seem to already have most of them. However, of that, the most common ones are memes and trending topics. Trending topics are not that, the ones that actually really go that viral are not that common. We have them once in a while, but memes are the ones that they are the fertilizer of the internet. They keep people talking. The funny pictures, those are the ones that bring the most spikes for all the clients that we've handled. They tend to be, we use them as feelers but they tend to cause the most spikes because I think the majority of users in Uganda on social media are young. They are between 16 and 24. So, and most of them are not out for serious content. So they tend to jump onto memes and all these funny pictures.
And this is not Kenya. In Kenya, you'd really have that serious content and you have your followers following through. I think I've been following Kenyan pages, but you really notice that a lot of the content that really goes viral in Kenya is a little different to what goes viral in Uganda. It sends me to the next question. You tried to tackle it previously, but it's a tricky one. How does one reach B2Bs online? Like if you're a business like Will Apps, how do you use social media to reach a business, a fellow business to business, not just individuals?
The first thing to understand is the business to business sales channel. And it's not different from the business to customer channel. It's discovery, consideration, and decision. So even with these businesses that hire us for services, there's someone seated somewhere discovering which firms are good to work with, which firms provide which services. So every day is a discovery phase for some, let's say, marketing executive at a certain firm, and they are looking for information to enrich their understanding of a service they want to get. So you must have the content out there that if someone, there you call it winning the zero moment of truth. Someone comes and they are looking for something. Are you available to provide that information? So once you provide that information and you have the content online, then you've established an initial relationship. So they most probably will follow through your process as opposed to someone they haven't found. This is strictly online. Then as they are doing the consideration, you must also have the content to enrich and educate their consideration. Why should they choose your firm? Your content must, to that level, show your value proposition, how you're unique. And when they are making the decision, also the content must be available. So you're also equipping your sales team in the field. If someone says, question this, they can send an email. They don't have to do much. Send a link, download the document, that easily. So you must have the entire structure laid out based on the sales structure in the business to business.
All right. I once had a conversation with you, it was, I think, last year. And it was very enriching. I remember you telling me about your social media management toolkit or toolbox. So I would love to share that with our listeners today.
There's so many tools today for social media management. But our favorite tools are Hootsuite. Hootsuite is one of the best, not just because of the price. Which was our first reason why we got hooked into it. We looked at over 20 social media management tools, and most of them were outside our price range. But when we looked at Hootsuite, they were really giving a good deal. But beyond a good deal, they actually what makes them strongest is that they have created an ecosystem of everything that is interdependent on social media, and brought it in there. That if you use a mailing list, if you use blogs, if you use anything that social media relies on in there, is brought in a single platform, and you don't need to go out, and that makes it very powerful. Then they've also brought powerful analytics tools in there. Most especially, I really thank them for Twitter analytics, because previously it was very hard to access Twitter analytics outside of the US and Europe. For Ugandans and mostly in Africa, it would be very hard to just go directly to Twitter. Recently, they've opened up a little bit, but before it was hard, and these tools give us access. Our other favorite tool is Social Bakers. They tend to have very good tools as well, and most of them are free, and we watch our competition from there mostly. And even when they are not listed, we go and add them so that we can have a close eye on them.
Yeah, so
and they're really good tools. I would think for day-to-day management, I would recommend Hootsuite. It's cheap and it's extremely powerful. I think it's the most powerful.
Mr. Muzaffar, do you have any additions to that?
Hootsuite.
No, okay. So we could
for the Twitter guys, if you want to sit on there and do some magical work, TweetDeck.
Okay.
Maybe just to chip in a little bit, the other tool that we find very handy for us, which is not readily available online, is an in-house tool, is templates, branded post templates that we create in-house, and we use PowerPoint. So you'll be surprised, PowerPoint, most people look at it for presentations, but you can customize images in PowerPoint for social media, and you're able to speed up. In our agency, we don't have a lot of creative people, so you have one creative person create all the templates and bring them down into PowerPoint, and anyone in the team can be able to use them. Makes branded posts a breeze.
Okay, so we're getting towards the end of the show. I asked more 2 questions, but I would love to know what's the day in life of a social media manager like. Do you guys are you guys awake all the time listening into these brands? Like when you wake up in the morning, what do? You just open up your Hootsuite, your PowerPoint. Like, what do you do in the morning? What do you do in the afternoon? Like, what's your daily?
Well, depending on your role, there are multiple roles as a social media manager, but on the lowest level, which is as a content manager, most of the time you're either researching content and reviewing or modifying your KPIs, because most of the time when we set goals with clients, they are not long term, they are short term. We say we want to achieve this within the next 1 month or the next 2 months or the next 3 weeks. And when we achieve them, then you go back and revise and fine tune this. So on a day to day, it may be scheduling posts, it may be researching new content, looking up a bunch of your bookmarks for the latest content, things like that, and trying to know what's buzzing online.
Well put. Mr. Muzaffaru, what's the day in life of Mr. Muzaffaru on social media monitoring and management?
Jumping into the social beehive.
Okay.
Keeping.
Don't you get bitten by the bees?
No, you dodge them, but you must keep in. For example, you can't monitor your competition if you're not watching. Okay. So you must be watching, you must be monitoring content online, because most of the information, actually even the trending content online, something might pop up. If I'm on Facebook and I'm like, okay, this one is interesting, follow link, take advantage.
Do you have
monitor your posts?
Yeah. Do you have any influencers that social media influencers in Uganda, like specifically? I'll go for the tech scene and tech scene. That's the closest to what we're talking about that you look out for.
Well, personally, I find that some of the most influential people on Twitter, actually, they're very active and they tend to jump on every hot topic. And then on Facebook, there are a few that I follow. I personally like, for depending on the category of content, I tend to separate them for entertainment, then current affairs, and sports. I like Fat Boy. It seems to have all this trivia.
Okay,
James Sonnen. And he has a huge following on current affairs. And Reminder tends to be good as well, although he's not too active lately.
Yes.
Yeah. But his posts, whenever he has them, people really jump on. I like Simon Kaheru, very active as well.
Social media president of Uganda.
I know. Yeah, a whole bunch of people. Shanice is good as well, but she seems to be very busy lately as well. But
yeah. All right, Mr. Muzaffaru, any?
I would give Simon Kaheru number 1. Yeah. Though I usually find him on Twitter.
Yeah, true.
But he's good. Most brands, should he mention a brand, these people must be here to do what?
I find the biggest problem, I think he seems to have figured out Twitter has a channel. I always see him searching through, if like Facebook, and trying to create a distribution channel for some of his content, and you see it's barely there on Facebook. Like, it's a very, I don't know how to really term it. Like, you find him like posting something in groups like bloggers, something. Yet on Twitter, all he does is just put a tweet, get retweets, and then mention people there, and they'll follow up. Whereas on Facebook, he doesn't seem to get the right audience. The Facebook audience seems to love a lot of manyanga.
The audience on Facebook, you can look at Stella Nyanzi's traction so far, the mature content. Then you can look at a page like Kampala Express. Now these are serious Ugandans who are filtering our audience on Facebook. They don't take the nonsense, but their content is good. Stella Nyanzi will come, she engages her audience, she gives feedback.
Yeah.
When it's rubbish, she will tell you, boy, that's rubbish. If you have good feedback, she will tell you that is good feedback. So we have some serious people on Facebook too.
I tend to divide Facebook users into two.
Okay.
Those who are interested in long-form content and those who are interested in short-term content and short-form content.
Kiss content.
The majority are the ones that go for the short-form content. But the most serious users tend to go for the long-form content. And people like Simon Kahero, they write a lot of long-form content, and Facebook is not
Twitter
good.
is 140 characters, where he's a beast, he's a president, he's everything there.
Yes, but it tends to, of course, share links and to post secrets.
Yeah.
And the reason sometimes why on Facebook we may not have the same level of impact is because the majority, I think, of Facebook users are short form content readers.
Yeah, they love keep it simple.
Yeah, short posts and mostly visuals.
So this is coming from the perspective of 2015-2016. We're going to have elections. It's going to be an election year. We also what was happening in Nigeria. Tell us about social media reputation management and how will it be relevant in the late 2015 and 2016?
Well, late 2015 and 2016 is going to be a very hot space, and politics is a very competitive thing, and there's going to be a lot of mudslinging, a lot of stories that are going to get people moving either down or up. And reputation management is going to come in very, very, very handy. We are going to get a lot of those crazy stories that will create a crisis left, right, and center. And social media people are firefighters, either through written or visual. And I think that is going to be a very powerful part of social media in the coming months. And for those who are already good at it, I think they are ready. And those who are not, definitely, they are going to face it.
Okay, so Mr. Muzaffar, do you have any additional?
Reputation management, I would like to look at it in like three aspects. One, the first one is for the politicians. Are they going to take advantage of social media? How do you manage your reputation on social media, and how does it contribute to your political mileage within the campaigns? Then we have the media outlets, those ones who jump onto anything that can make news, can get the viewership, and can get the likes and shares. But the corporates, because you are looking at sentiments, so, politics is too sentimental for some people, so the corporates might be keen on which content they want to identify themselves with, any politician they even want to talk about. So they must be very critical on that element and how it affects their brands.
So it's sentiment analysis, social CRM, and then social PR, I guess, and social reputation monitoring, as Jeff put it. Yeah, we're coming close to the end of the show. Any parting shots from any of you?
With me, I think brands need to appreciate where things are going. Social media is going to play a very big role. For example, the West, it's already picked on. I think we are in the phase of what I would call marketing 2.0, which is moving away from the traditional tools, billboards, radio and all those platforms are dying. I'll give you an example. I've never seen a billboard for Facebook or for Twitter. I've never had a radio ad telling me sign up for Facebook or Twitter, and yet they are growing. So for those that will understand that space and know how to take advantage of it, they are going to be the leaders of tomorrow. And those that don't are definitely going to get what's coming to them.
Mr. Muzaffar?
Social media is the new thing. And I think in some few years, everyone will find it inevitable, because I'm already seeing examples of young people starting their businesses, but they can't help it. They must be on social media because that's like their major marketing and sales channel, because they cannot afford the traditional marketing where advertising goes for a leg and a foot. But even the big companies which have the spending power and have the investment potential, they can have these teams, they must get in. So if social media marketing and everything, social media business was a marathon and anyone hasn't stepped in there, they are still dressing up as people have finished, let's say, 200 kilometers. But still, if you're not sure that you have to get in and do it well, don't get in. I'll give you an example. If I come to your page and I send you an inquiry, direct message, and it takes ages without getting a response, that's more damaging than if I don't find your page on Facebook. So once you get in, jump in. Don't just test the waters. Get in and swim.
So we normally end the show with a few. What you mentioned, your Twitter handle, your Facebook page, your blog, or where people can find you. You know, if it's Oddman, where people can find your services on the show.
As an individual, my name is Jeffrey Kongot, like I mentioned at the beginning, and when you search for me on Facebook, my URL is /Facebook/ekongot. At Twitter, I'm at ekongot. Everywhere on social media, I'm ekongot. It's a keyword, and there are very few ekongots in Uganda. There are very few ekongots in Uganda, which is EKONGOT. Simple as that. Oddman, there's no, we don't have a lot of companies with that name, which is ODD, and our handles are all /Oddman or at Oddman on Twitter.
Is there anything about Oddman you haven't mentioned on the show that you would love people to know?
Well, not really. Oddman is a digital agency, and we're working with brands that want to get ready for the future and be a part of the next phase of pushing brands using digital media.
So what's your web address?
Our website is oddman.ug.
Okay.
And the same name, Oddman on Facebook, Oddman on Twitter.
Oh, Mr. Muzaffaru?
Personally, Facebook, HRH, Chimbugwe Muzaffaru.
What does HRH stand for? Is it Honorable?
His Royal Highness.
His Royal Highness. Oh, King. You're content king, so you deserve the title. No.
Thank you. And it's facebook.com, Chimbugwe Muzaffaru. Twitter, that is Muzaffaru OK. Google Plus, that's Chimbugwe Muzaffaru.
Who uses Google Plus? Who still uses Google Plus?
People are there.
Okay.
People are there. Not so active, actually. You go there like once in a week. Okay. Then Tumblr, WordPress, that's Muzaffaru OK at .wordpress.com. And same as Tumblr, MuzaffaruOK.tumblr.com. Then Willops Limited, our blog is willapsug.com. That is WILLAPPS, willapsug.com. For our business services, that is about.willapsug.com. On Twitter, it's willapsug, and all our other platforms are Willops Limited.
Well, Robert Sebunya is my Rob Sebunya is my Twitter handle. On Facebook, you can find me at sebunya.robert. My Sebunya is single S all the way. And thanks for tuning into the show. I'm Robert Sebunya from Techjaja. I'll catch you on the next one.
Social media's here to stay. Contact days from Russia. Find some friends on Friendster. People find tags great, then they use it just a day. WordPress for blogging here. YouTube's a vid sphere. Twitter came and changed the game. 140 characters, not the same. Social media's here to stay.